Well, good afternoon, ladies and gents. I think it's time now for same color bishops in the endgame. I'll be using the archive of AimChess platform. They already got some beautiful, beautiful lessons prepared for everyone to be used. Upon contacting them, they have confirmed. So I'll be going with their archive of lesson, and I'll just add more clarification, more words to make it more intelligible for all chess players out there, especially beginners and intermediates. So, ending now and same color bishops. Now, the idea would be, if possible, to try to keep your pawns on the color opposite of your opponent's bishop. So, as you can notice, these guys will not be targeted by this bishop, and at the same time, if you can, target your opponent's pawns which are on the color of your bishop by fixing them. So you try to keep that pawn on the color of your bishop. Now you can definitely notice that the bishop targets this pawn on e6, but you can't really take it because the king is there defending it. So we are going to fix that pawn as a weakness by playing a little subtlety which matters very much. That is e5. Okay, very important. Why? Because we have fixed the pawn on e6 on a light square. Now, as you probably very well noticed, the king is in check now, and they have to move. If they, let's say, go towards c7, you're simply going to be collecting this guy, and you are going to win because you've created the passed pawn. But if, say, they go over to d7, now this presents the excellent opportunity for your king now to play to c5 and gain access to dark squares that lead to more pressurizing those pawns, either this guy or this guy. So let me just play king c5. Now it depends where they go. Again, if the king tries to stop you, then I'm going to really succeed because bishop's going to take here if the king runs away from defending e6. Okay, and if the bishop runs away now, you're simply going to be marching on b6, and now you have eyed the a6 pawn, which of course you can't take it, but very important detail here, you will be able to play bishop to c4 and absolutely nothing that black can play to stopping you. And when you do bishop c4, you already capture that a6, thus creating a passer, and that's how you win. Look at this one. Bishop c4, double attack here. There is absolutely nothing to stopping you taking that pawn on next turn. Okay, so you've created the passer. That's it. Game over. Medium long term, you will be winning. Okay, let's have a look at this position here now. You obviously have a passer here, although the same number of pawns, it doesn't really matter, because what matters absolutely in chess, guys, is the piece's position, piece's activity. Now, this pawn on b4 wants to become a queen, okay, but you can't push it now because the bishops simply are going to capture your pawn. So what you need to do is just natural, simple, yet highly effective moves like bishop, for instance, bishop c6, and then you're more than able to simply roll down or roll up, depends how you want to look at it, the pawn for a promotion. Bishop c6, there's absolutely nothing they could do to stopping you pushing b5 on the next turn. And there you go. Pawn is going to become a queen. Go one more time. They try to, but it's just completely hopeless here for your opponent. You're going to be pushing. They have to take. You're going to take with your bishop, and really the bishop, 2 pawns, and a king, more than enough for you to win. And that's the whole thing. That's it. Nice one. White is totally winning here. You'll have to play carefully, combine your king and the bishop, get rid of these guys, and just get one of those little guys will promote into a queen, and then you are able to win. Okay, let's have a look at this position here. It is black's to play. We do here bishop to c4. King retreats. You're going now to aim at attacking a4. Okay, if they play, let's say, bishop to c2 or something like that, you're just going to play yourself bishop to e2, and then you're going to be attacking this guy. They simply can't defend against, and that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, and if you're saying now, yeah, but what if what if they play just okay? What can they possibly play here? Not too many things, though. Absolutely not too many things. If they do this, which actually happened, you're going to do something like bishop e2, and this guy's going to be taken. I think that's exactly what we suggested doing here. And anything else that white might play with the king doesn't mean anything. Really, you are going to grab either this guy or this guy. Two weaknesses already. White can't defend them both. Okay, and if they do, for instance, if they do king to c1, just give an idea. If they do king to c1, well, you're just going to play bishop to b3, attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn. So really, there is just nothing for them to do. They will have to trade, you will take, and then king will be capturing on a4. Okay, so now you go for the f3 weakness, and this guy is already a gunner very much. Okay, let's focus on this exercise. You probably notice, guys, that the pawn on b6 is going to become a queen here. Now, there is one little subtlety here. If you push it now, you might allow black to just play a move like saying bishop to e5, and frankly, that's going to delay you. Seriously, it's just going to guard over to that guy. Just plant the bishop there and they're going to be staying there probably. But there is one little idea that you might be able to play. What if you just insert that bishop very nicely on the 6th rank, on this diagonal actually, and that would be massively preventing them from playing the bishop to e5, for instance. Okay, and now there's nothing black could do. Even if they try to attack you with the king, just waste no more time. Just go forwards. That's it. And if they capture, you're going to get a queen. There is nothing black can do to stopping you from promoting. Okay, so same color bishops in the endgame. Okay, let's just try figure out this one, guys. Okay, definitely the bishop on c7 stops you from playing b7 to b8. Okay, can we find perhaps a way to either deflect this bishop or to generate a trade or opposing, making the bishop running away? Now, there might be two ideas that would circulate perhaps in your minds. One is good, the other one is not that good. One is correct, the other one is completely incorrect. If you're thinking about something like bishop a5, hoping that actually the bishop is going to capture your bishop so you can go forward and actually promote, that might not work, guys, because this is hopeful chess. You're hoping for them to play a bad move in order for you to win. We can't do chess like this. So if you play a5, they're simply going to be doing this, and it's just unnecessary complications. So you only need to figure out a way to getting the bishop on this diagonal, supported by your king, mind you, guys. So obviously you can't do this now. It's ridiculous. You're gonna lose just like this. But there is a check with tempo, and then you will be able to place your bishop on the h2 b8 diagonal, and you're starting with bishop d2, checking the king. And now look at this beauty. Bishop to f4. You challenging now the bishop. No way for them to avoiding this. Either take, and when they capture, you're going to take back with the king, and then queen is a guaranteed. Or if they run away, very well, thank very much, I'm going to get a queen regardless. So that's how we are going to solve this little dilemma in the end here. So shall we try another one? Let's see what can we possibly play here with white in this position here. So we're having the bishop attacking here. Now, if I am to take this guy, not going to end up very well, right? Because there is a bishop that will take my bishop. So we got to figure out another way to be playing this. How exactly are we going to do that? The question is here. Is that, let's give it a couple of seconds. Think about it, guys, and figure out what on earth is white supposed to be playing here. Something with the bishop for sure, but we're not taking the pawn. Can we look perhaps for some checks? Can we figure out some ways to be checking the king, win him some tempo? Anything in regards to this, pushing the king away from staying and guarding over the dark squares. Because looks to me, guys, if we manage to play something that pushes the king away from dark squares, perhaps, just perhaps, we might be able to get the king closer and maybe, you know, attacking the f5 in principle at some point in the future. Might we be able to do something? Is probably bishop b3 going to work? Just asking. That's exactly the right stuff we need to do. The king is in check now. They got to move away. and there is another idea. If the king runs away, say the king goes over to c5. Okay, let's just say they go to c5. There is another interesting thought here. When the king goes over to c5, might you be just able to go for this? Just figuring out right now that looks like this guy is definitely a weakness here. So you can definitely grab this guy, and if you take this guy, then you just make some space and push your roam pawn, and actually you're going to get a queen. That looks very good. That actually looks quicker than trying to exert pressure here on this guy. So let's try another one here. What do we do in this position? Again, we're playing with whites. This is the new for me as well. It's a fresh new exercise I'm trying to figure it out now. Can't take here because there is a king. So looks to me in this very position here, I've got two things I am considering. Either get my king to the center or try to fix a weakness, because we discussed, guys, if you remember, we discussed at the beginning about fixing weaknesses. And this guy here looks like he's on a white square, so I might just be able to fix that pawn on a light square and attacking it on the next turn with the bishop. So if I am to do an apparently strange move, because probably most of us will be thinking about playing king d4, but it's not going to work. May or may not work. I'm not quite fully convinced. So, but this one, it seems to be simplifying a great deal the position, fixing this guy where they are. So that allows white to play bishop to e2, targeting this pawn here. And I think this is good. This is absolutely good. And let's say, king tries to run towards protecting this pawn. But when they do something like f6, might that allow white at some point to do something like king d4? And if they really want to keep it alive, I'm just going to go, for instance, on e5. I think that sounds like a very good plan here. So if king f6, we can just drop bishop to e2. Then king has to defend that guy. And then I'm going to play king d4. Okay, if they do this kind of stuff here, I mustn't be very scared. I'm just simply probably going to be playing this. And I'll be attacking regardless here. Of course, I can take en passant, but king to d4 and then king to e5 seems to be a winner here. Okay, let's see if we got more exercises available for ourselves. What would you play in this position with black here? So let's think. Can I perhaps fix a white pawn on a light square so I can attack it later on with my bishop? I could definitely do that. And I'm looking at the g4 white pawn. This is actually the weakness I need to target in this position here. So I can't approach it now because those pawn exert a perfect blockade for my king. I can't do nothing. But if I am to play something like g5, that looks very good, actually. Let me play it. Yep, that's the correct one. If pawn goes forwards, the blockade had been broken, because then king can infiltrate itself on e5 and then on f4. So that looks absolutely very well. If they capture, I'll just take with the king here, okay? And that again looks very good, okay? So that's absolutely the way for black to be playing in this position. Same color bishops in the endgame, guys. That was a lesson taken from AimChess platform. And thank you very much for watching it, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys will get notified when I go live, and hopefully we're going to get to play a couple of friendly games, maybe some games analysis together, guys. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon with more chess videos.